Goodness, you two.
Did he fall?
I made up this character and now I'm really sad about her. I've never thought about her before today, and now I'm very sad.
I'm sad. I didn't know her before today either.
Too sad. Too sad.
Good evening, fellow geeks. Welcome to our next episode of Stolen Fate. Today we have a bit of a special episode. You can see that we're down to just M and Tori again, though this is not Krunk and Jack today. We last left off where we had Krunk run into somebody from his past, and they knew him by a different name, Karunok. So what we're doing today is we are doing a special flashback episode, and we're going to dig into a little bit of Krunk's backstory. We're not really playing Pathfinder tonight, so I didn't want to have everybody build out a bunch of characters and like D-level Krunk to before he started and everything. So instead, what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of do a co-narration session. So I'm still GMing, and I'm going to be driving the story along, but of course I kind of ran some of this story by M because it was her backstory for Krunk. And it does have a set outcome that we're going to learn about. But in terms of how it plays out, we're just going to narrate. So you guys are, for combat, you're going to tell me how your characters fight and what you want to do to said enemies, and I will narrate how said things land on said enemies. We're going to kind of improv it and wing it. That sound good to you two?
I'm so excited.
Cool. All right, so flashback 15 years ago at the Magambia campus. Now, the Magambia is a school, something to compare it to that everybody will be familiar with. It's Hogwarts. It is very Hogwarts adjacent, though it's not a bunch of teenagers and secret wizards, but it is like a big magical academy where people go to learn about magic. It's a very prestigious school. It's very exclusive. It requires a sponsor of some sort to get in, whether that's your village or your city or some kind of renowned scholar. On a very rare occasion, you can apply and sponsor yourself and get in, but that is pretty unheard of. It's very rare. So, Krunk, you have been part of the Magambia for some time. Do you want to talk about how did Krunk get into the Magambia? What was, sorry, not Krunk, it's Karunok at this point. How did Karunok get into the Magambia?
That's a great question. I think that Karunok got into the Magambia being sponsored by a teacher. Showed great promise, did a lot of studies, tutored for a while in order to be introduced by recommendation.
I love that. Now, was Zalara the teacher that sponsored you?
I don't think so. I think the teacher that sponsored Karunok, it actually passed away,
Okay.
or retired, one or the other. Or let's say retired. We don't have to make it sad yet.
Okay.
This is the teacher that retired, and Zalara is just somebody that Karunok really bonded with.
Okay, yeah. So, Krunk spent in the Magambia for some time. I keep saying Krunk. I need to get into the Karunok mindset.
Karunok. My name is Karunok. Who is this Krunk you speak of?
Ooh, that's good. So Karunok has been at the Magambia for quite some time. Probably a number of years at this point. When one enters into the Magambia, they start off and they join a cohort. A cohort is a group of people that they see has good potential synergy with each other to help each other's progress. The Magambia has different branches. I'm not going to go over all of them, but they have different branches of study. Somebody picks a primary and they also pick a secondary. Some of them focus on protection and putting their magic into that. Some of them focus on community. Some of them focus on research. Now, Krunk, you were part of the Tempest Sun Mages, which kind of focuses on protection and battle magic.
Correct.
Oh, did you have another comment?
No, I was
sorry.
gonna be like, and then his secondary was probably Emerald Boughs, but
Oh, yeah, I
I
love
was
that.
like, that's probably a little nerdy.
No, I love it. Emerald Boughs can be your secondary. Emerald Boughs focus.
We're not
kind of
allowed
on
to be
community.
nerdy on this show, Em. I don't
Yeah,
know
whoa.
what
do you think we're
kind of
doing
show
I
you
meant
think this
geeky.
is.
Yeah, no, Emerald Boughs focuses on community. So Krunk's major focus was protection and battle magic, and secondary was integrating magic into the community. Yeah?
Yep, 100%.
Cool. I love that. Karunok showed a lot of promise, has done a really good job, and actually his entire cohort has done very well over the years. And after you prove yourself initially, you become an attendant at the Magambia. And then from there, you can eventually go from, so attendants are still student focused. Everybody at the Magambia, including the teachers, are always progressing and learning. And there's just a lot of progress to be made. Like the Magambia is all about progress. But the next promotion up from attendant is lore speaker, which is where you start to transition away from focusing as a student and you focus more on being a teacher or a professor. So after years in Magambia and showing a lot of promise, your teacher Zalara, has said that she will recommend you to graduate to a lore speaker. You do have to be recommended by another lore speaker to get that promotion through Magambia. But for you to get that graduation, she thinks that you need to do one last thing, which is she has recommended that you do a large-scale research project because that is something that you have not done yet. And she wants it to be something that is far away from the Magambia and that is for a extended period of time. So maybe a couple of months or so. And Karunok, you picked your research project to go study the mana wastes. Is that right?
That's correct. It's such a mystery, the mana wastes.
Yeah, the mana wastes, for those who are not very familiar with Pathfinder lore, is yeah.
Oh
She's
no, I was just
one
saying
of the
that's
ones
me.
that's not
you're
very
one
I'm
of
one of the
okay.
ones.
Yeah.
Please explain.
Yeah, so the mana wastes are a big wasteland that was kind of decimated by magic because of two warring nations, Nex and Geb. And I won't go too deep into that lore, but basically there's two powerful wizards that rule those two nations. They got into a big fight. They did a lot of chaotic stuff, and it just decimated this in-between land between the two nations. And now it has caused a lot of strange side effects. Magic acts strange there. Sometimes it doesn't work at all. Sometimes it does completely unpredictable things. It's created a lot of strange flora and fauna around the area and a lot of danger. Like they're quite dangerous, not like unbearably so, but it does take a veteran adventurer to survive in the mana wastes. So your cohort is being sent there to study some of the flora and fauna and kind of experiment around with why magic acts funny there. And you were sent with your entire cohort, and as is custom for such a dangerous project as the Mana Wastes, you were sent with a lore speaker. And that lore speaker that you were sent with is named Edrin Malcor. He is a little bit of an uptight professor. He's pretty respectable at the Magambia. He focuses a lot on transmutation magic, and that's kind of been his focused classes that you would all be familiar with. He is a Tempest Sun Mage himself, so he's been sent with you. So that is where we're going to start. This story is going to be on your research project in the Mana Wastes. Your cohort that is with you, I'll introduce the NPCs we have first, and then we can talk about what Karunok looks like as Karunok, and then we can go over your character Tori. But as I mentioned, you're with Edrin Malcor, and he is a human male. He is a tall, angular man. He wears very crisp, nice robes, always immaculate. He's very clean. He's very organized. His hair is dark black that is always slicked back. He's got strands of gray at the temples as he's starting to age. And then also in your cohort, you have Sela, who is an Alage elf with dark skin and vitiligo. So she's got patches of light skin, kind of marbled in with the dark. She is a very sweet, compassionate person in your cohort. She's very capable. when it comes to defending herself, but she does tend to be quite a pacifist. She's got some natural freckles on her skin as well, and long silver blonde hair. And then you also have Tomko Brightbranch. He is kind of the prankster, jokester of your cohort. He's never taken things quite as seriously as he should. He's a halfling. He's short even by halfling standards. He often gets mixed up with a gnome, which makes him quite upset. He's got curly orange hair, sunburned cheeks, and he's always got kind of a shit-eating grin because he's usually doing something that's going to get him in trouble. The serious one of your cohort is Hesso. He is an orc. He is very fiercely protective of the cohort, and particularly you, Karunok. He really respects you. You and him have gotten along very well. He's always the first to stand by you in danger, which I imagine Karunok is also kind of, I don't know, how was Karunok back then? Was he also very protective, or did he develop that over time?
Was protective, but not as focused on it as nowadays Krunk is. Doesn't take school super seriously, like enjoys the lifestyle and learning, but isn't a straight A student by any means. Enjoys sparring, maybe a bit of a temper, actually. But generally good-natured and likes to hang out and be social.
So it's like a good segue. What does Karunok look like at this time?
Karunok has dark hair and that he takes care of very much. It always has braids and little trinkets woven in, little bits of intricately carved metal. He's a tall, normally proportioned tiefling with blue skin, little pointy canines with a bright smile and a big laugh all the time. He has a tail that kind of is just typical tiefling tail with a little barbed tip. And yeah, he's kind of handsome, not overly so.
Does he have the red eye yet? Or
nope.
No?
Normal hazel eyes.
Oh, lovely. Excellent. All right, well, yeah, Hesso is kind of your serious, stern protector of the cohort, always kind of the level head when things call for it. And as I mentioned, he's an orc. He is a very tall, broad orc, quite a force to be reckoned with. He's got the deep green skin that you typically see on an orc, braided dreadlocks adorned with tiny little glass beads. And he has very large tusks. And then the second to last one in your cohort is you have Vina, and she is a Tengu, and she's a thaumaturge who focuses on studying relics. She's always the one who is collecting the little bits and baubles and trying to identify everything that you guys find, trying to see if they're worth research or digging into. Tengu are bird people in Pathfinder, so she's got some glossy black feathers, tinged with just a hint of purple-blue at the edges. And her beak is slightly chipped on one side. Happened while it was at the Magambia from a past duel. And she always wears bright red clothing.
Was it a duel with Karunok?
I don't know. Did you chip Vina's beak?
Definitely.
Wow.
Nice. She respects you for it. She doesn't hold it against you.
She chipped my horn back.
Oh, nice. Look at that. Permanent damage. Bonding cohort. We love it. And then I'll let Tori tell us about the final member of the cohort.
Oh, that's me. Quillen is her name. She is a half-elf. She's the grandchild of another professor at the Magambia, who was her sponsor. And she's a bit mousy in personality, I would say. She's a bit shy and quiet, very friendly. She just wants everyone to be happy. She wants people to like her. And she's maybe not always the most secure. She practices like experimental magic. She's a bit avant-garde in her field of study, and she studies body art and paint and art with her magic.
Aww.
And so it's kind of she's always been a bit of an odd duck, I'll just say, and she continues to be so in this cohort, but pretty likable if you can kind of look past her quirkiness.
Excellent. So there's your little cohort, Karunok.
Thank you.
You guys are on your research project. And we're going to zoom in as you guys are in the Mana Wastes. Now, the Mana Wastes are a strange place. They are a mixture of drab and gray that looks like wildfire swept through and just left absolute desolation with gray skies. And then there are bits of places that are just vibrant and weird, with maybe brightly colored plants. The weather is kind of erratic. You might see like beautiful, colorful rainstorms one day that might turn suddenly to acid rain that requires taking shelter. There can be big dust storms. It's a very strange place. Kind of not a very reliable biome. It kind of shifts and bobs and weaves randomly with the flow of mana and magic that is just completely unstable here. So it has been a bit of a dangerous research project for you all. You've probably seen plenty of danger, but your cohort is capable. You have all proven to be pretty solid adventurers. Otherwise, this research project wouldn't have been approved in the first place. So, as we start the scene, you guys have been crossing some drab wasteland for a little bit. Your camp is on the edge of the mana wastes. You've been trying not to rest in the actual wastes themselves because they're so unpredictable and dangerous. But you spotted the other day a very colorful oasis that is just lush with rainbow fauna and flora, and none of it looks to be dangerous in your initial scouting. So your plans for today are to go take a look at it, document it, research it. So we're going to start with your cohort all traveling together towards that oasis. Teacher Edrin is leading you all ahead and gives you all a stern reminder. Remember, everybody stick together. Make sure you don't leave sight from one another. Document everything. That's the point of this research project. And as we've been going over, do not use magic unless absolutely necessary out here. That warning has come as you guys have found that sometimes using magic has dramatic effects here, and it can be dangerous. And so you've all found it best to try to avoid using magic here, if you can help it. So I'll put it to you guys to go ahead and narrate and roleplay a little bit. Get to know the cohort.
Well, in that case, Krunk is going to head off with maybe Hesso and Quillin in one direction. And he's going to shoulder Hesso. Can you believe Edrin? He says it every damn hour, I swear. As if we don't know not to do magic here. We've been here how many days?
Take it seriously, Karunok.
I am taking it seriously.
It's a good reminder.
I just seriously can't believe he's being such an ass.
Give him a break. We practice magic constantly. For some of us, it becomes like an extension of ourselves. It's a good reminder.
Come on, Quillin, tell Hesso to chill out.
He's towering over you and looking down at you.
Quillin looks like Karunok just asked her to like run 10,000 miles. Well, I think that you could both be right. It is a good reminder, but maybe he could relax a little. What do you think we're going to find at the oasis? I hope I find some things I can maybe use for some new pigments. I've been running a little low on my paints.
Oh, well, we can't be having that. Didn't you bring backup, or are you planning on making everything here?
Well, a little of both, I guess. I thought that some paint made from supplies from the mana wastes would be a fascinating find.
I can't disagree with you there. You know, as long as it's not like acidic or suddenly shifts. Well, you know what, actually, speaking of shift, it'd be amazing if you could find something, a shifted hue. Maybe depending on, like, temperature?
You all do your bookkeeping. I'm going to keep watch.
He seems a little grumpy.
Nah, Hesso's just serious. Very serious about keeping us all safe. As long as you got Hesso around, you don't have anything to worry about. Isn't that right, Hesso?
He gives a thumbs up. Doesn't even turn his back towards you. He doesn't turn away from you. As you guys get close to this oasis, you see that there's just wild magic rippling through this place. You can see it kind of almost like you would see a heat wave. There's just prismatic bends in the area, and it feels powerful. Like if you were to use magic here, it feels like you could probably pull on quite a bit extra. There's lush floor that's twisting with vibrant unnatural colors. There's crystal veined trees that have bubbling pools at their feet, but they don't look like acid or ugly. They look almost like inviting to drink, and the whole place smells like cooking sugar, like something's being baked in an oven, and it's very inviting. As you guys are approaching, you can see that Tamako goes running up ahead of everybody. This place looks awesome! We get some of this in vials? We taste it?
We haven't really checked it out too much, Tamako. Just be careful.
Yeah, whatever. I'll do the protocols whenever. I'm taking some of this home, though.
Do you have an extra bottle for me? I want some of this.
He drops a bag full of vials and goes rushing up to one of the pools and starts filling it up.
Oh, right. Do you think that I could capture wild magic in one of these? Do you have any sort of enchantments on this?
Edrin will walk up behind you. It's a good thing to study. Maybe see if you can get some sigils around some of the vials and capture some of it.
I could paint some on for you if you want me to.
Oh, would you, Quillin? That'd be great. Just careful not to channel anything into it.
Oh yeah, of course.
I sound as bad as Edrin. Don't make fun of me now.
Oh, I would never make fun of you, Karunok. Not ever.
And he'll
Nina
look at
starts
your hair.
picking up some rocks around the area. I'll see if maybe some of these stones around here can be etched. Could make some sort of reliquary of sorts.
That sounds like a great idea. Sela, what are you doing?
I just want to listen to the plants. She's kind of already crouched down, like she's like very gently brushing some of the plants and touching some of them. She's a druid, so this kind of nature always seems to put her at peace and happiness.
I'm gonna look around and see while Quillin is carving or painting these runes on the glass for me. Do I see any brightly colored plants or maybe even bright mud nearby?
Yeah, so there's like the ground here seems to be like muddled Play-Doh. Like instead of your typical clay or mud, it is very colorful. As you scoop it, there's different colors underneath, and the plants are every color you can think of. This whole place is like something out of Dr. Seuss.
Amazing. Okay, in that case, I'm going to take a few bags, and I'm gonna try and just very carefully cut out bricks of this and store it carefully in these bags. And by the time Quillin is done painting on this glass, he'll have a couple of bags ready for you. Hey, I gathered these for you.
Quillin looks inside and sees the bright colors. Oh wow! Thank you so much, Karunok. Oh, this is more than I ever dreamed we might find out here. You didn't have to do that.
It was the least I could do. Now, if you don't mind, I'm gonna take that glass and I'll talk to you later, okay?
Yeah, okay, bye.
All right, bye. And he goes just jogging off towards the nearest heat wave of mana.
And Quillin sighs dreamily as she holds the bag that he gave her and watches him gallivant off into Candyland.
Excellent. Yeah, you guys spend a good part of the day here. The people who are interested in the research accomplish quite a bit. You guys do manage to get a vial that can contain a little bit of that prismatic energy that's floating around the area. You store a few vials up. Hesso doesn't seem to participate very much. He just kind of takes patrol around the oasis, weapon always at the ready. He's got a very large falchion that he wields. And Teacher Edrin just kind of summons up a little bench and studies some books on the edge of the oasis. Doesn't seem too invested in what y'all are doing, but it is a pretty productive day. And everything is peaceful and safe as it goes, until suddenly there is a very dramatic shift in the vibe. As you guys are kind of packing up the vials and you're getting ready to head out for the day, there is suddenly a violent explosion from the center of the oasis. You two were both studying in the oasis, right? You were not on the outskirts or anything. You were actively participating. So both of you, probably before you even know what hit you, you're thrown violently back. Some of those vials of the energy that you managed to make shatter. There's just a huge cloud of dust, and it looks like the color from this oasis just drains away. It goes from looking like something out of Dr. Seuss to something out of a horror movie. The trees just shrivel and wilt. Everything goes to gray. And it's kind of disorienting, but one thing that you both noticed is that at the center of that explosion, was Tamako, and his body just goes flying back far away from the oasis and skids across the ground. Just a trail of blood leaving behind him.
I probably am thrown from my feet, and my ears are ringing as I slowly get upright. It's that high-pitched tinnitus sound, and I see just the blood first, and my eyes trail after until I see Tamako's little broken body, and I'm gonna start just a shuffling towards him and then breaking into a run, shouting his name over and over, but I can even barely hear my own voice.
A quick look around yourself and you can see that it looks like Tamako's the only one who is seriously injured. Everybody else looks a bit dazed, covered in dirt, including Teacher Edrin. Everybody's kind of getting to their feet. As Teacher Edrin sees you approaching Karunok, he's going to shout, "Don't try to heal him with magical means. Remember, I think did anybody use magic?"
Do I look like a divine caster to you? I'm gonna pull an elixir out of my pocket.
That's an elixir, not a potion?
Elixir!
He'll give you a thumbs up.
I'm gonna try and feed Tamako the elixir.
Yeah, as you turn Tamako over, he looks battered and near death, but he is breathing very shallowly. As you pour the elixir, the breathing gets a little more stable, but he does not go conscious.
It's okay, Tamako. Just hang in there, buddy. Quillen! Quillen, are you okay?
Quillen is pulling herself out of a small crater from, I don't know, just some flying debris. And she is she's normally covered in paint, but she's extra covered now. All of her paints have exploded all over her. There's probably some red that looks horrible, but it's just paint. And she's like, "I'm okay. Oh my God, it's Tamako." And she comes running up to see what's going on.
Quillen, you're bleeding.
Oh my, am I? She looks down, dabs herself, licks it a little. "Oh no, it's just paint. It's paint. What's going on? What happened?"
Sela comes running up with you, Quillen, also looking concerned. "Oh, Tamako, you fool. I think I saw him casting something."
Why would he do that?
Edwin just looks furious and is kind of biting his cheek and shaking his head. "I don't know. He said something about wanting to hear the plants too. I wasn't using magic. I just hear them."
It's not your fault, Sela.
Maybe we should go back to camp.
Hesso is on full alert, stomping around, weapon drawn. "I was bound to have gotten some attention. We should leave."
I'm gonna pull out my sword. It's just a standard long sword.
Vina is kind of looking back at the oasis away from everybody else, just looking absolutely awestruck. "Hey, everyone. What's that?" And she's going to point back to the center of the oasis, and where was once a nice one of those, a large bubbling pool of color, there's now a humongous crater. That explosion was large. And from this divot down into the ground, you can see that embedded in this new crater, there is the outlines of a metal structure and a partially revealed doorway. A large doorway. This is kind of a strange looking structure, not made of stone or wood, something you would see. This is something complex.
So you said there's a big door?
Yeah, there is a partially unburied doorway at the front of this structure.
Metal? Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
What the hell is that?
Everybody kind of gathers around and starts looking at it. Teacher Edrin gives it a curious look. "Well, that's quite the discovery."
I don't know if we should go exploring while Tamako is in such a state.
"No, I agree. And as Hesso already mentioned, that explosion is bound to have drawn something unpleasant towards us. I believe that this is going to bring the research project to an end. I'm sorry to cut it a little short, Karunok, but I am sure that Zalara will already be satisfied with our findings, and I think it's important to report back to the Magambia.
A research project is not more important than lives. But I'm gonna kick Tomako's ass for ruining this for us.
I'll see to it that it's reported properly. He's suffered enough, everybody go easy on him. Let's get back to the camp, and let's rest.
Okay.
Come here, you little idiot. I'm gonna pick him up.
Chase, how deep is this crater? Would it be like difficult to walk down there to the door and then like come back up out of the crater? Is it like a scramble, or like could I get down there?
No, it's a pretty gentle slope, like you could get down to. It's a big rounded crater. It's not like a steep cutoff, so yeah, you can walk down and check it out.
Just one moment. I'll be right back, I promise. No magic, I promise. She's gonna just run down and paint a little sigil on the door. And I'm narratively interpreting this as like, this is how she's gonna find it again.
Okay.
Because she will somehow be able to track this particular paint sigil. Just in case we make it back here someday.
Edrin nods. Good thinking. All right, to camp, everyone. Hesso will kind of like go full bodyguard next to you, Karunok, as you're carrying Tomoko around.
Hesso probably notices that Karunok is favoring one side. He landed on a rock, and his ribs and chest are just bruised up. He's probably cracked a rib or two, but he's trying to keep it quiet. But I feel like because Hesso's so protective, he might be the one that clues in.
Yeah, he'll just kind of he'll give you a concerned look, but he's not going to call it out or say anything about it.
Okay.
Are you good, Karunok?
A little stiff from the explosion. I'll make it.
We'll get patched up when we get back to camp.
You
guys travel uneventfully, maybe like a good couple hours back to your camp, just on the edge of the wastes. Your tents are still set up undisturbed. Teacher Edrin and some of the others in the cohort have set up alert traps to make sure that nothing's been disturbed, and everything seems fine here. So you get there. I
had a question. You described after this explosion, the oasis drained of color.
Mm-hmm.
Did the clay that Karunok gathered for me in the bag, did that drain of color as well?
It did not.
Okay. When we get back to camp, then Quillen hasn't been worried about that until we get back to camp, and then she'll open the bag and exclaim excitedly, "It's a miracle! Oh, look, Karunok, that it's still colorful."
You look at Karunok, and he is pale and sweating at this point.
Oh my gods, are you okay? Here. And she'll like help take Tomoko. She's not very strong, but like maybe she motions Sela over. Then the two of them take Tomoko off of you and like lay him gently down. Then Quillen will start singing to you, just like, "Here, take some water and just lie down and take a breather."
It's okay. I think I need a date with my bedroll and sleep it off.
Sela gets a fire lit, and people start using their magic to an extent here, cautiously. And after the fire is lit, she will do a healing spell on Tomoko, who gasps awake. Oh man, those plants were mean.
Really? Or were you just a fucking idiot?
Hey, lay off, Karunok. What happened? Is everybody okay? Barely, says Hesso. We're going to be reporting this back to the Magambia, young Tomoko, says Teacher Edrin.
What were you thinking? Using magic there?
I mean, it's not part of the wastes, and everything else seemed fine. Sela was talking to the plants. I just did a little spell to do the same thing.
Sela doesn't need magic to talk to the plants.
Hey, at least he found some kind of weird building. That could be big for the cohort if that's something important, says Vina.
I guess that's true.
But it's going to
Hey,
be
I
forever
found
until we
something?
can make it back here.
You almost
We're not going to be making it back here. That's going to be another's research project. I will make sure that your cohort gets credit for the find, but we're going to report that to High Sun Mage Oyamba, and he will make a determination once we get back. Is everybody understood?
Yes. Teacher Edrin understood.
Good.
I'm glad you're okay, Tomoko.
All right, we have alert traps set up around the camp. We're going to rest here tonight. I don't dare teleport us back from here. There's a settlement a couple miles east. We can head there in the morning. One more night of roughing it, and then we can get back to our comfy dorms.
And the cafeteria.
Yes, unconjured meals will be a delight.
All right, well, I'm going to tuck in. Hesso, wake me up when it's my turn for watch.
Yeah, you got it, Karunok.
I'll take Karunok's turn tonight. You got really, hurt. I think you could use the rest. Not that you couldn't take the watch. You're very capable. I feel very secure when you're taking watch, but maybe you just need some extra rest. I don't mind.
I'm not going to say no. Okay, if you're sure.
Yeah, I can do it.
You sure, Quillen?
I said I can do it.
All right.
Yeah, better watch out. Take your head off next.
Quillen looks suddenly very embarrassed that she, took a sharp tone.
Karnok's gonna toss her a wink before slowly stretching out belly down on his bedroll.
She
All
blushes, then goes to her own tent to get everything ready and salvage whatever paints she has left.
Excellent. So you get some rest before your watch, Quillen?
I assumed Hesso was taking first watch, but
Esso's taking first watch, yeah.
yeah. Okay, so yes, I'll get some rest until Hesso wakes me.
Okay. Yeah. He'll hit his sword on the pole of your tent when it's your turn for watch. All right, Quillen, I'm going to get some shut-eye.
Okay, I've got this. Totally under
Keep your
control.
eyes open. I'm really nervous about what that explosion might have brought near.
Do you think they could have tracked us back to the camp?
Never know. This is a weird place. Just keep your eyes open. You'll be fine. Shout for me if you see anything.
Okay. Sure, it'll be fine.
You
Good
hear him
night.
go into his tent, and there's just a loud thud as he hits his bedroll.
Okay.
I love
Yeah.
Hesso.
Uncomplicated. He knows what he's about.
Yep.
Yeah, Quillen will sit by the fire, keeping watch. She busies herself just with sketches and painting little designs that she's thought up on her forearm, kind of like a kid in class doodling on their arm, with a Sharpie or something. She's just sort of passing the time that way, and looks up every 10 seconds or so to make sure there's nothing spooky creeping in the woods.
Excellent. Yeah, I love that. So you're sitting by the fire. It's a nice warmth on a otherwise chilly night. It gets quite cold here at night. And you got your eyes peeled and keeping your eyes around. And there is many strange noises that come from the Mana Waste. It's pretty unsettling. Just weird bestial noises, pretty noises like songbirds. But it's things that you've been hearing for the last couple months as you've been here. But as you're keeping watch, you do eventually hear some scuttling not far off from the camp. And when you go to see it, you see a pair of reflective eyes staring back at you. And as you seem to notice them, it goes scurrying behind some rocks off in the distance.
What height were these eyes at, as far as how tall would I have gauged this thing to be?
Maybe like a tall human.
Oh. Okay, so not like a creature on all fours. potentially.
It
like,
looked like it was
well, it could
kind of
be on all
humanoid in
fours,
shape,
very
but it
large.
looks like it scurried on all fours behind the rock.
Oh, that's
That's
disturbing.
big. It's big. It's
Yeah.
big. It's big.
Okay. How far are these rocks that we're talking about?
Maybe a good, like, 30 feet away.
That's one action in combat.
That's one whole action away.
That's like
Hmm.
what is a third of 6 seconds?
I have to decide if Quillen is
two
trying.
seconds.
I have to decide if Quillen is going to try to be brave. If she's thinking like, I want to show that I'm capable, so I'm not going to wake Hesso or someone else, or if she's gonna like, if this is really scary and she's gonna wake someone up. I imagine we haven't. At least Quillen has not seen something like this up to this point in the trip.
Right. Yeah, not anything exactly like this.
Well, I know we aren't really using dice, but I'm going to roll a dice and decide if Quillen is feeling brave or feeling scared.
I love it.
So, odds.
Even.
What? Even is what?
You tell people,
Even, I'm smart and I tell people.
or you're scared enough to tell people.
Yes.
But I'll leave the reasoning up to you.
Here we go. It's a 2. Quillen is scared and gonna tell people. So she does take like just a couple steps to kind of peek and see that it goes behind this rock, and she freezes for a moment, kind of gripping her. What does she have as a weapon? Probably just a staff, like a heavily decorated, painted, carved staff. And she freezes, thinks for a minute about going and hunting down this thing herself, and then like walks backward, keeping an eye on where it disappeared. Like when you are trying to keep track of a bug, like a spider, you know, where you're like backing away, you're like, I'm going to see if you move. And then she will...
As you're backing up, you back
no.
into somebody standing behind you.
I whip around and I have my staff, at the ready to like thwap somebody in the face.
Yeah, as you turn around, there's a tall figure behind you that kind of catches your staff in one hand. And you can see in the firelight reflecting, there's somebody in a long black robe with etched red arcane symbols all over the robe. They're not glowing or anything. It's just like, they look like magical representation stitching. With a very deep hood, where you can see it kind of covers their forehead. And you can see their eyes and their face. In the shadow of their hood, you can tell that they're blindfolded. And it looks to be like a human face in front of you. As you turn to swing at them and they catch your staff, you can see that there is several of them standing around the camp. You have no idea how they got there. But as you turn to hit them, are you shouting or making noise?
Oh, yeah. Quillen screams and she stamps her foot and activates all the paint sigils that she has like we've had this camp for a minute, so I imagine that she was part of setting up the camp defenses and stuff like that. So she just she screams and stomps her foot, and then like, I know we're not doing mechanics here. Could this kind of function a little bit like a fairy fire spell chase? Basically, yeah. I think the paint like splatters onto all the enemies, or like all the creatures that she's perceiving as enemies right now, and just like illuminates them, like makes them really bright and easy to see. And yeah, and she just shrieks into
Is it like
the
colors
night.
in the black light?
Yeah.
That's so
That's how it is.
That's awesome. Okay, Karunok, you wake up to that.
Karunok wakes up and rolls out of his bedroll, and he was sleeping with one hand on his hilt and the other one on his sheath. So he pulls his long sword as he spins to his feet. Does he see all these people here?
Yeah, so as you get to your feet, your weapon at the ready, you can see that there's about 6 of these robed figures. And you can see one of them is slicing open Vina's tent. And you hear her squawking and screaming. And followed by all that, you hear a high-pitched bestial screech that is coming from several figures echoing from just outside your camp. This is where you were just looking towards Quillen, and you see just a ton of reflective eyes of shadowy figures scurrying up unnaturally fast on all fours.
To arms! And I'm gonna attack.
Excellent. Yeah. So, are you going after the people in the robes, or are you going towards the creatures?
I think that I need to save Vina first. She's squawking. She's trapped in her tent. He doesn't know if she has a weapon in there. He's first going to go to defend her. We'll have strength in numbers. So he darts over that way, light on his feet, and he starts summoning magic into his hand and his sword as he prepares a spell strike.
Excellent. Yeah. So as you swing that spell strike, what kind of spell strike is it?
Electric arc.
Nice. It's been
We'll
a
just
classic.
go cantrip. He doesn't want to do anything too powerful.
He hasn't learned. He hasn't. The disintegrate has not become trademark yet.
No, it has not.
Love it. So, yeah. So you go and you swing towards this figure, and you can see this figure has an arm in the tent that they've cut open. They're channeling some kind of dark smoke into the tent, and Vina is trying to scurry out of the tent, but is looking kind of woozy and off balance. And as you swing your spell strike towards this figure, it connects with a shield spell, right? A magical barrier, and it tries to crack through, but just seems to shatter that shield. And the bounce of your electric arc goes sparking back right over Quillen's head, and sparks one of those creatures that is just about to leap on Quillen in the face. And it kind of staggers back and claws at its face. And now that it's in the firelight, you can see that they look kind of like tall, lanky humans, but all of their muscle and sinew is exposed, and their faces look stitched together, and they have steel fangs in their mouth, and their eyes look like they've been sewn in, and they're just pale white. They are just very unsettling looking human-like creatures that look like they've been put together, almost like a mix between a ghoul or a golem.
Would you say perhaps like a flesh warp?
Kind of like a flesh warp, yeah.
Like a very grotesque one?
Like a very grotesque bestial flesh warp.
Yikes.
Okay.
Hesso is immediately jumping into action, and he is unarmored, but with his falchion, and he is fighting off some of these creatures.
This is my research project, right, Chase? Even though Teacher Edrin's here.
Yeah, he's supervising, but it's yours.
Yeah, so I think that because he has a measure of responsibility for this group, Karunok is going to start commanding people into a battle formation. His voice rings out across the night as he shouts for the mages to get behind the fighters, and he joins Hesso and tries to take one side of the weaker ones, while Hesso takes the other and sweeps Tomiko and Sela behind him.
Excellent, I love
Just
that.
tries to get everybody coordinated a little bit in the midst of this chaos.
Yeah, how do you combat this cultist in front of you, Quillen?
Am I able to wrench my staff away, or is he strong? Okay, so Quillen, hearing Karunok kind of shouting at commands, she realizes that right now she needs to probably get behind Hesso and sort of get in position. So she wrenches her staff away. This guy looks probably like a caster? Yeah. I'm guessing? Okay. And she swirls her hand around, and the paint that was on her forearm that she had been doodling all night swirls up into her palm and then disappears, and then fills this guy's mouth and chokes him. Not necessarily lethally, but he can't talk right now. He's gagging on paint. And so he kind of starts coughing and hacking, and she just shoulders him out of the way and scurries off behind Hesso and sort of takes position up, ready to do what she can.
Yeah, so you get that cultist off of you, and Karunok, do you continue your assault on that cultist?
100%.
Yeah,
now in Arcane Cascade, he is attacking at a flurry, just relentlessly attacking, and then will pull back abruptly when he realizes he's getting too far from the ones he has to take care of. But he looks like he's more focused on killing than protecting.
I think that this person, as you're relentlessly assaulting, is trying to deflect with bits of magic and trying to cast shield spells. But just as you start to back off, I think your final swing kind of cuts across his throat, and you do manage to drop one of these cultists who chokes to the ground. Vina,
I grab him before he falls with my free hand, because I'm only fighting with my one-handed longsword, and I'm going to spin and throw him into another one of these cultists, just to try and take another one out of the fight for a moment.
Nice. Yeah, and as they stumble back, a bunch of the cultists look completely caught off guard. One of them casts a spell towards the fire and dims the flame, and everything goes dark around you, and the only thing that kind of keeps you guys coordinated is you can see that there's just this colored paint marking targets. And you see just before the fire goes out, Vina tries to move out into the formation with you, and she stumbles to the ground and just collapses unconscious. Whatever that smoke was seems to have rendered her incapacitated.
Don't breathe in the smoke! And I'm going to step over, so I'm standing over her, like 1 foot on either side, so nobody can get to her.
I love that. Hesso moves the formation and kind of pulls you into formation as well, Quillen, and everybody forms around you, Karunok, as these creatures are now upon you, and there's a lot of them. Like, there is an overwhelming number of them that have just come out of the shadows. Your cohort is fighting valiantly. I imagine you're killing a lot of these creatures. Sela kind of stays in the center of you all. When a claw connects or injures any of you, she's trying to patch it up and heal. Quillen, I imagine you kind of play support.
Yeah, she's got a couple of little offensive tricks, but yes, she's mostly like she's mostly messing the enemies up, blinding them with paint. When things get really, really tight, she doesn't love to do this with her magic, but she can also use blood as paint. And so as enemies, as cultists start falling and these like creatures start falling and she's running low, like she's just like dragging her staff through blood and like sending it shooting out into the eyes of others around. She like makes it boiling hot and like sear people, and yeah, she's doing everything she can, but this is obviously not what she studied magic for.
That's so cool. I love it. Yeah, and Karunok and Hesso, I think you two are kind of like the MVPs in terms of all these creatures that you're slaying. You kill so many, but it just feels like they don't stop coming. Eventually, Tamako launches up like a green flare of magic that illuminates the area so you guys can see again. It kind of puts a weird green glow over everything. And then he starts launching some magic missiles around to try to fend some of these creatures off.
Hold up. Where
yeah.
the hell is Edrin?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, as things are illuminated, everybody's kind of like in the throes of battle right now. But you do see that Edrin appears to be skulking off, looking completely terrified, and is running.
He is a Tempest Sun Mage. You said that at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
He's the same as myself and Hesso, and he's supposed to be supervising, and he got scared and ran?
Yeah.
Oh
you
my
see
gosh.
That he did like a dimension door off to the distance, and he's running away.
Oh man. Karunok roars his fury, and it is... Quillen, you probably recognize this from when Karunok gets really, really angry in spars or in class, and he will start to get sloppy and reckless when he gets this mad. And he says, Edrin! I'll kill you!
I think as you say that, Hesso notices as well when you point it out and goes full orc bloodlust and does the same. And you and Hesso probably start killing so many of these creatures, but it does get sloppy. And as you guys are all focused on that, one of the cultists slides in. They turn into like a swirl of black mist and pops up in the middle of all of you. And the last thing you remember is seeing them just explode with a burst of smoke. And whether you try to hold your breath or not, it's too little, too slow, and all of you black out.
Quillen reaches for Karunok just as the smoke explodes and falls to the ground, unconscious.
You remember Karunok seeing Quillen reach for you, and noticeably behind Quillen reaching for you, you can see that one of these creatures you can see rends off one of Tomoko's arms, and he looks woozy, and that's the last thing you remember. You lose consciousness.
Tomoko is already hurt. Tomoko can't survive losing an arm.
And
Looks
I don't know
rough.
if you remember, Krunk has a tragic backstory.
I forgot for a second. I was really immersed. I'm methoding super hard and a little teary-eyed.
All right. Karunok and Quillen, you start to slowly awaken feeling very disoriented. The air smells very different. Everything is well illuminated. You feel the cold kiss of metal on your spine, just dotting it in different places, and some kind of pulsation feeling where you feel metal at your back. And the scent of old blood and chemicals is hitting your nose, and around the room you can just see metal walls. And as you start to gain consciousness and look around, I think Karunok, you probably wake up first. And to your side, you can see that Quillen is next to you. And she is completely restrained in metal restraints, kind of at an angle laying back. And you can see that there is some sort of device stabbing up into her back. And it looks like there is just pulses of a purple arcane looking ichor that's being pumped into her. And you can see it going through her veins. Her veins are kind of glowing with the same purple. And it's probably hard for you to move. You are restrained as well, and you can feel the same thing happening to you. And off to your left, you can see that there is another pair of your cohort. You can see that Tomoko, who is still missing an arm, is paired up next to Vina. And then across the way, you can see that Hesso and Sela are also to the same device. Everybody still seems to be unconscious aside from you. And you can see that those cultists are moving around. Their hoods are now drawn back. They all have their heads shaved with strange tattoos on the back of their heads, but they also have weird stitching around their head, as if the tops of their scalps have been removed and replaced with a different colored skin. And all of their mouths are stitched shut, which was not the same when you saw them in the camp. So it's strange as they stitched them since then. But they have scrolls that they're writing things down on, and it looks like one of them is trying to match different severed arms from a cart up to Tomoko. What do you do?
Imagine that as Karunok is waking up, he is so disoriented. Does this hurt the experiment that's happening?
Your body feels kind of numb, like as if it's asleep, like you've just got pins and needles, and it's hard to really feel pain.
Why? What's happening?
Quillen, you probably wake up about now as well, seeing the same thing.
Don't panic.
Rather than groggy, she kind of snaps to attention and starts. You hear her breathing start to quicken, and then just, and she is hyperventilating and panicking, and starting to to cry. She's just kind of like, what's going on? He left us.
He's trying to break free of his things, but it's super weak and probably pathetic. He strains against the restraints.
She, like, with some effort, kind of tilts her head over or toward in your direction, Karunok, and she's just like wide-eyed, and tears are running down her face, like streaking the paint and the blood that was left over from the fight. And she's just like, are we gonna die? We're gonna die. We're gonna die in here.
One of those cultists walks up to you two and just kind of stares at both of you, tilts their head, and takes down some notes on a parchment. And then moves on.
Who are you?
What
What
do
do
you-
you want?
They seem to ignore you. You can hear a kind of an awful crunching sound to your left as one of them is casting some kind of spell, attaching an arm that's far too large for Tomiko. Seems to be stitching up to their body.
Stop! Stop that!
A bunch of them turn to look at you, and then one of them walks up to the device behind you and seems to like work on some kind of dial. And you feel like the pulsating at your back starts to thicken and increase.
No! Quillen, what are they doing?
A little numb again.
Quillen looks, still is just panicking, but hearing Karunok like call to her specifically, she tries to stretch her neck as much as she can to peer behind Karunok's bed, I guess.
Device?
Device, yeah, whatever this is. Is there, could I make a guess at what any of this might mean?
Yeah, once you guys both get consciousness and get your bearings about you and kind of see what's going on, you probably both have an idea since you've been studying here what this is. There is something that Nex designed as kind of a weapon of war that was used in the war over the Mana Wastes called flesh forges. And these were things that were used to create really powerful creatures by turning people and other creatures into something that was kind of savage and brutal and powerful, but at the cost of taking away like their humanity and their consciousness. These were said to have all been disassembled and shut down a long time ago, but seeing one here could potentially be what this is once you start putting all of the facts together.
Quillen is still like shivering from the shock, but is whispering out the little bit that she can observe about what she thinks this might be. You remember that seminar on the wars, the flesh forges? I think this might be one. Karunok.
Numb. And he starts like
Karunok.
nodding off a little bit.
And I think that an adrenaline burst hits you as you hear Vina let out a horrible screech and scream. And you guys can see that her body just starts to crunch and crack in unnatural ways. And her feathers start to fall out and get replaced with like sinewy muscle. And she starts to grow teeth in her beak. And her eyes go red. And she seems like she's turning into one of those horrible creatures.
Vina.
As you say that, you, from across the way, hear Hesso let out just a brutal roar. But when you look at him, it does not look like he's transforming into a creature, but he is just on pure adrenaline, just snaps out of the metal braces that are holding him down, and he grabs one of the cultists and throws them into one of the devices. The one behind you two, and the cultist crunches into it and breaks it, and some of that purple ichor starts leaking out. Next to him, he lets Sela free and breaks her, gets her out of her binds. And then as the cultists all start getting magic ready and realizing what's happened, Sela casts some vines up from the ground. They break out through the metal and they break your bindings free. What do you do?
Karunok probably jumps out, drops to his knees, grabs onto a table, and pulls himself back up. He's looking for a weapon.
You don't see any. There's no weapons nearby. There's maybe some scraps of metal or something you could improvise, but you don't see any of your gear nearby.
Quillen slides off of her bed and much less heroic and gracefully than Karunok.
Oh no, it was a tumble and a fall. It was
she
graceful.
crumples to the floor, still weak and in shock. That you said that this purple ichor was sort of like leaking out now across the floor.
Yeah, it looks like they broke it, and so it's spilling out everywhere.
Okay.
It smells strange and chemically.
Quillen doesn't know what that is, but she sees Karunok looking around for something, and she reaches toward the ichor and she draws the pigment, the color, because it's this bright purple, right?
Mm-hmm.
She draws the color from it, and you see this. She's really straining, but I think she's an artist. She creates things, usually not from nothing, but she's dumping all of her strength that she can, and she pulls this pigment into a sword. And
that's so cool.
Hands it to Krunk weakly. You think that she really put everything she had left into making this weapon.
Yeah.
Here you go.
And as you guys as you see each other off of these tables, you can see that you both have 3 metal rings that look like they've been welded into your back. You realize that you all just slid off of some very thick needles that were stabbed into your back. You now have Hesso free, Sela free, and both of you are free, and you're armed, Karunok. And you can see people are trying to move back into that kind of fighting position as the cultists are starting to throw magic at you. There's bolts of fire and electricity coming towards you.
Okay, I'm gonna cast Shield and get in front of Quillen. Free Tamako! And I'm gonna wade into the fight.
Was that to Quillen or to? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Okay, Quillen will nod. She looks like I'm choosing to interpret this as a sustain spell.
Mm-hmm.
So she looks like she's kind of split focus. She's trying to keep your sword in up, and she nods wordlessly and shuffles over toward Tamako's gurney.
Yeah, so as you start heading towards them, it looks like some of the cultists realize what's happening and they turn to try to stop you. But Sela looks like she focuses a ton of energy and the metal on the floor just buckles up and a whole wall of vines kind of divides you away from the cultists. And so you have just a clear path to try to get Tamako out. Hesso moves into formation with you, just pure fists, and tries to just watch your back as you're fighting off some of these cultists. And shortly after you get in that formation, from the entrance of this building, you see some more of those flesh warp creatures start pouring in. And you guys have another drastic fight on your hands.
Sela, find a way out! And I'm gonna go side by side with Hesso to try and hold off while Quillen frees Tamako and Sela finds an exit. Is there a way to drop something down to at least give us a little bit of protection?
Yeah,
What's above us? Is there suspended equipment or machinery?
Yeah, there's probably pipes and there's probably all kinds of metal and loose cords and things that you can pull down to try to make a barrier.
I think that I'll probably cast briny bolt, and I'll shoot it up because it is a ranged bolts, multiple bolts, and I'll hit where they're chained to the ceiling so that they'll fall down. And then I'll reach over and I'm gonna cast haste on Hesso.
Yeah, he goes into full fast mode. He starts fighting some kind of anime fisticuffs character. His reflexes improve, and he's trying to disrupt some of the cultists as they cast. And Sela points to where all of the creatures are coming out from. I think that's the only way out. We have to fight our way through.
Is Tamako free now?
So on the other side of the vine wall, you go up to Tamako's gurney, and just as you're about to free him, Vina just her neck flexes and she rips off some of her bindings, and she just chews into Tamako and just like basically rips his chest open before you can get to him. He screams briefly and then goes limp. And then Vina rips off her bindings and stands up much taller than she once was, just looking like this terrifying mix of like a mutated raven. She's got long claws and teeth and does not look like herself anymore. And she looks like she's getting to bolt at you, Quillen.
Yeah, Quillen was like half crawling, half stumbling toward Tamako when all this happened. Also, side note, Chase, like, what do you have against Tamako? He's just like... Is it because, like, Jack's not here to pick on, so you're like, okay, next guy, I'm going to absolutely
pick a different one.
Obliterate over and over again. He really had, like, a terrible run. Poor guy.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so Quillen, was just about to reach Tamako and then, like, skitters backward at this horrible sight of Vina ripping their friend open and now towering above her. You hear Quillen scream again, Karunok and Esso, and what's Sela doing right now?
As you turn to see what the rest of the group is doing, you can now see that you are separated and trapped behind this root wall.
Oh, like completely. It's just me.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Good. Well, again, I imagine that this is not Quillen's favorite thing to do, as I said, but I imagine that Tamako is bleeding quite profusely.
Yes? A lot.
Yeah, okay,
Very
gushing
much.
blood. So his blood, pours onto the floor, and Quillen scooches back, hits the vine wall, realizes that she's trapped, and she shouts to Sela, the wall! And as she's waiting for Sela to drop the wall, she like scrambles around on her hands and knees and just like plunges her hand into Tamako's blood. She looks up at her like completely eviscerated friend and she says, "I'm sorry, thank you." And she grabs like a handful like you would if it were like a solid thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the blood like stays around her hand and forms this like big shield. And she doesn't think she has much of a chance of fighting whatever Vina has now become. So she is just gonna try and like keep herself alive with this pigment shield essentially. And when Vina like scratches against it with her talons or like bites into it, it splashes. This is a little bit like Krunk's glass shield, but it like splashes blinding, sizzling blood basically back at Vina, and Quillen is just like cowering behind this tower shield.
Oh, I love that, yeah.
Can I say that in this moment, Karunok's weapon disintegrates in his hands?
I was thinking the same thing.
Yes, yeah. You see it like flicker, Karunok. Like it starts flickering and then drops out of existence.
That's when he turns and he looks back to where Quillen is and just sees the wall of vines.
Yeah, and it's probably like shaking and like, like you see in like the underbrush when like an animal's getting killed or something. It's just like shaking and shuddering as Vina's like slamming against the wall and Quillen's shield, and you hear Quillen screaming, "Quillen! It's Vina! She's something else!"
Sela at that moment seems to take notice of that and starts focusing to try to lower the root wall down. And as she does, a just black smoke trail of a skull flies down her throat. And she looks like she chokes for a moment and she just shrivels up as if she's just aged by 100 years and collapses to the ground. And as she does, that root wall melts down to the ground and dissipates. And Sela definitely looks dead.
There is just a heartbroken sob that rips free from Karunok. And trusting Hessa with his back, he's going to turn and run towards Quillen in hopes that he doesn't lose another. and he's gonna jump over the withering vines. I imagine those are withering.
Yeah.
He's going to grab his old friend's face with one hand and her chest with the other. And he's gonna say, ignition! And just light her on fire. For Vina.
Yeah. As you do that, that bolt of fire ignites her and it goes up the body and seems very effective. She screeches and roars and falls back. And just in time before she was about to break through that, your blood shield is starting to wither away and run dry. As you take that moment to protect Quillen, you can see that Hesso stepped up behind you. The creatures and cultists are nearly gone. You can see him just crushing cultists into the wall, bashing some of their heads in, and he's able to snap the necks of some of these flesh creatures. But as he goes to put the last one against the wall, he crunches its head against like a metal pipe, but you can see some of the claws go right through his chest. He turns around to face all of you. Okay, get out. And then he collapses to the ground as well.
I'm gonna pick up Quillen.
She scrambles to her feet. She's crying, but still, like, functioning. She looks around and she says, I don't know how much more I can do, but I have one more idea. And she's gonna run with you, Karunok, toward the exit. Are there still, like, guys pouring through Chase?
For now, it looks like you actually have a little bit of space, but you do hear more coming.
Okay. Let's go, quick, while we have a chance. And while Quillen is running, she's any chance she gets, she's like running her hand through pools of blood from the cultists, from her friends, from anywhere she can touch, and is just like gathering. And you see the blood is like traveling up her arm and like in these like tattoo-y patterns. And she's like filling up as much as she can with this blood. She looks like something out of a horror movie right now, and she is horrified herself as well, but she can't think about that right now. She's running with you.
All right, so you guys are making space and just trying to get out.
Yeah, escape is on the mind.
You guys see that corridor where the flesh creatures were coming from, and you're able to find a way out. There's a couple of splitting corridors, and you can hear that more creatures are starting to come, but you do find the way out. You can feel open sky as you get close, and you do have enough distance ahead to where you start hearing the creatures get more and more distant. And
I think we're gonna make it, Karunok. I can taste the outside air. I think we're gonna make it.
Just focus on running. He's like breathless. He is so worn out. He's almost out of magic.
And as you guys continue on, you do make it out the front entrance. There's a metal door that is partially open, and you recognize this now as the door that you saw earlier. And you realize that you are in that building that was uncovered by this explosion.
Tamako.
Jeez, man. It's all his fault. No wonder Chase punished him so hard.
Damn it, Tamako! Karunok sobs his friend's name as he picks up the speed. Freedom is so close.
Yeah, you guys are able to get that door open just enough to go through, and you are now back in the Mana Wastes.
He pushes it open, lets Quillen through first, then slides through and lets it slam shut behind him.
Okay.
He's panting, and he says, I have my 2nd level spells still. And he'll reach a hand out to her to offer her a spell. You'll probably recognize it as an invisibility spell.
You do realize you are now back in the Mana Wastes.
Oh, I can't cast anything. I don't cast anything. Retcon. Retcon, Chase.
Never mind.
Like, remember what happened the last time somebody did
Yeah,
that? We found
Maybe
it
you
before.
start to channel it, and then you feel that unusual
Yeah, and
air.
Quillen's like, no.
Shit. I forgot.
We just have to run. We just have to get outside of the Mana Waste. Quillen is desperately rubbing off her paint sigil too that like marked this place.
That's
She
smart.
does not want to come back here ever.
Yeah, that's a good
so
idea.
she's rubbing it off and also like trying to collect the pigment if she can. And is just like clambering up out of this crater, but is terribly weakened and tripping as she's going.
Quillen, I don't feel right.
We can't think about that right now, Karunok. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but we just have to keep moving, right? That's what you always say. You just have to keep moving.
I'm coming. And he takes a few steps, and then he pauses and he throws up.
Karunok, please.
Okay.
Quillen comes by your
I feel
side.
better now. Let's go. And don't stop. Just keep running.
Okay. And you guys are beelining it out of the mana wastes, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys run. You hear the screech of those creatures get quieter and quieter behind you. Your lungs burn. Your stomach turns. And just
eventually Quillen throws up as well. I think it'd be pretty impossible not to.
Right. Mm-hmm. Can't get the smell of the blood of your cohort out of your nostrils.
And literally it's like on her right now.
Yeah.
Her hands are like dripping blood as they move, just like it looks like she dipped it in blood, but it's still stayed fresh and wet on her arms. But she hasn't let it go yet because she doesn't know what they might run into.
You guys get to the edge of the mana wastes. You see your camp off in the distance. Where do you go from here? You heading towards your camp? You just running to where you knew the closest settlement was?
Yeah, Edrin told us that it was a few miles away from our camp. So probably trying to navigate off of that, not exactly go to camp, but cut across towards where that town's supposed to be.
I don't think going to camp is a good idea.
I agree.
Because they were just there, yeah. So once we orient ourselves and figure out where camp is, then I think we head off
towards the settlement.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Karunok is like, tears are dripping off of his chin as they're just running and panting and struggling to breathe. It's making it even harder for himself as he's imagining Hesso's last moments, and he's realizing that he's the one who put Hesso in the position to be frontline, and just the guilt is tearing him up.
Quillen is all she feels, on the other hand, like she's been nothing but the person to be saved this whole time, and so she feels like if Karunok, if she had kept the sword up, if she had been able to handle the threat herself, like maybe that wouldn't have happened. Like, I think we're both just sort of going through all the what ifs, the like, I should have done this. What was I thinking? I forgot this spell. I did this wrong. Just like you are when you're up late trying to go to sleep after a really intense Pathfinder combat and you're like, I forgot this action. How could I have forgotten this?
So a quiet trip of doubt and contemplating, and you guys are probably pushed near your limits. And as you're traveling maybe a good 20 minutes away from the camp, suddenly your knee just gives out on you, Quillen. It just feels like something breaks and you trip.
Falls to the ground, kind of splashes in a little puddle of blood that appears like underneath her hands as she lands and loses some of her concentration. My knee.
Quillen, what? We have to go. Come on. Up.
She tries to struggle to her feet and puts weight on it, and I imagine another just shot of pain chase.
Yeah.
She tumbles down. I can't
Give
walk.
me your arm. Arm over my shoulder. Let's go. I got you.
As you go to grab Karunok's arm, you feel this random reflex to just slash at him. And as you do that, your arm crunches into a deformed claw and just kind of slices a big gash in Karunok's forearm as he goes to reach for you.
Karunok, she's like gripping her claw arm, trying to like hold it back to her side. I'm so sorry. I think I'm...
As she's saying that, her voice is getting more like garbled and deep And you start to feel something within you
No.
just vibrate and shift. You feel your bones starting to change.
Gwilyn, not you. Not you two, please. Don't do this. Just, you can fight it.
She has stopped like making coherent words. She's just screaming now, and her voice is like getting distorted as she's transforming. The blood like drains from her arms, like the ink, and it just like pools around her. And even as she's struggling with her body and sort of like lurching toward you and holding herself back, you see her eyes are just locked on yours, Karunok, and they're huge and terrified and heartbroken. And she collapses to the ground one more time and just looks up at you, her body like horribly twisting and crunching. She manages one final word. I'm sorry. And then whips her head down and just lets out a shriek as she becomes something else.
While your body is twisting and just mutating before his eyes, Karunok reaches down and picks up a big rock. And he's crying. And he's saying sorry over and over and over again as he slowly stands up, lifting this huge, heavy boulder. And he staggers a step forward. And he's, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Gwilyn. And he lifts it up and then throws it down onto her head.
She looks up as she hears you approaching, just like one last wild glance up toward you, and her eyes lock onto yours right before the rock hits.
Goodness, you two.
Did he fall?
I made up this character and now I'm really sad about her. I've never thought about her before today, and now I'm very sad.
I'm sad. I didn't know her before today either. I killed her.
Too sad. Too sad.
And then he's just gonna collapse, and he has like, his hands in his forehead against the rock, and he just screams and he screams and he sobs, and it's just like one of those yells that cracks as it gets louder and louder.
And as you're shouting, Karunok, I think you feel the weight of that rock in your hand even after you've let it go. And that weight feels heavy against your arm. And eventually you realize that weight isn't from the rock anymore. You can feel your own bones starting to shift and crack. You feel a pain erupt from your shoulder as it looks like your bones reorient to your upper torso, and that arm just bloats and crunches into a form bigger than it should be. And you can feel the same things starting to happen to you.
No, I should. And he tries to like find something sharp so that he can end himself too.
And you find something nearby, and as you do, you hear a voice shouting, "Karunok, don't!" And you can see Edrin running up from the distance towards you, and you feel some kind of magic like restrain your hand back and make you drop the object.
Stay back!
As you do that, you just feel this bloodlust in your soul of Edrin in front of you. You can feel like you can sense the pulsing of the arteries in his neck, and you feel the abandonment of him leaving you, but just amplified by some kind of bestial urge. But as you do so, you start to lose consciousness, and the last thing you remember is some sort of energy field wrapping around you, and then once again you lose consciousness. So Karunok, you wake up as if from the dead. You just can't even start to get a gauge on your own body. You feel like your chest is heavy. You feel like everything is heavy. and you feel kind of a similar sensation to when you woke up in the flesh forge. You feel a metal table beneath you. You kind of smell the smell of strange components in the air. Your vision is very blurred and it's hard to focus. And you kind of keep going in and out of consciousness. You try to focus your eyes and you slip back away into sleep, and you just hear garbled voices around you. Every time that you wake back up, your eyes focus a little more. You can focus on the voices a little bit more. Before you fully get your vision back, you recognize that one of the voices around you is Edrin. And you hear him not sounding very panicked. He's sounding almost excited as he's talking to a group of people. You hear him talking as if it's some sort of research. Oh, it stopped and we found the flesh forge, and I mean, this is unfortunately no longer Karunok. It's something in between the creatures that were there. I was able to tap into it, use transmutation to stop it. I think he is a special kind of creature. I'm calling it a Krunk, putting the name similar in honor of poor Karunok, who lost his life for this thing, but I think that we keep it alive. As much we could learn from it. You hear some other voices, maybe ones that you recognize from the Gambia. This sounds completely unethical. I don't think that that's what we should do. There's Karunok in there, then we should put him out of his misery or try to find a cure. I assure you, I've been studying it for months. There is no cure. I've done everything I could. I've brought in every expert we have here. It's not going to happen, but I think we can learn more from it. You finally kind of get some of your vision back, Karunok, but you can't speak. You don't feel like you can move your body. You do see that there is a mirror above you, and you see something that don't even recognize as a reflection for now. Do you want to describe it?
It's a monster with short legs that don't belong to him, and a body that is humongous and twisted with spikes jutting out of one side. His one arm is so big it looks like almost like a lobster claw or a crab claw. The one with one side's way bigger than the other, and his face has little bony like spikes that jut out of it, and a wide gaping maw stretches across his stomach. His arms are held to the side, and a second set of like forearms dangle limply. He has like just flaps of skin, it seems like. His whole body glistens. He doesn't recognize himself at all. And as he like trying to bring his mind to the forefront, really what he is remembering are his dreams that he's been having. Those moments that he was reliving the good times with his cohort, of staying up late and studying, the rejoicing after a successful test, making fun of Vina when she failed once, cheering her up, taking the hot air ride up to the top of the tower, and then watching the sunset while sharing a drink. And then every time he starts to wake up in those moments, he sees his friend's dead face. He sees their final moment. He remembers killing Vina. He remembers seeing Sela fall. And it always, always ends with Quillen. And now he sees the monster that took his friend's life. And he just shakes and rattles in place, unable to find his own voice.
And as you do that, you hear, whoa, now. More sedation. And you feel some kind of stab in the side of your neck as sleep takes you again. The next while for you is just a haze of memories that you can hardly piece together. You wake up frequently face to face with Edrin. You seem to gain consciousness. He says, "I'm sorry, Karunok, but much to learn from you. The cohort was kind of a disappointment anyways. I mean, they almost got us all killed. I'm lucky I escaped. You are..." He kind of steps back and startles back. "I saw what you did to Quillen. You are a beast, and this is for the best."
When he says that, Krunk, one of your eyes, is it your left eye or your right eye that is... I'm sorry to quiz you.
It's his left, because that's the same side his spikes are all on.
Okay. Whenever Edrin says this, your left eye goes red as you feel this like rage and guilt and just like all the emotions to come to a boiling point, and your eye fills with this red, it's blood paint, and it is just the last of what Quillen had on her as you collapsed near her body. And you feel that fill your eye, and you recognize it as some tiny bit of Quillen's magic that just made its way into your body and now clouds your vision forever.
And he grows suddenly still as he feels Quillen's presence in any facet. She still exists. And he is just taken off guard by it. He's completely distracted from Edrin and what Edrin has said as he just marvels in the fact that Quillen was a genius. And now she just doesn't, she's not even here anymore. And that's not fair.
You remember Quillen once describing her magic to you as being incredibly emotion driven, and you can feel with this vision, this cloud over your left eye, it seems to kind of pulse and react with your emotions, kind of surging and like growing more powerful when you start to lose your temper, and then sort of calming and settling as you yourself are calmed and settled.
Okay, that's not gonna haunt me for the rest of my life. That's fine.
You've always described your red as spreading over when you get really, really upset. So
that's so cool, Tori. That's so cool.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I love it.
Okay.
As you kind of have that moment of calm, as you remember that, another needle stabs you in the side of the neck. You just remember him saying, "You are a danger." And you lose consciousness again.
Right before I lose consciousness, I think I am a danger to you.
The next months are just a haze. You just come in and out of consciousness, and you're constantly having professors examine you, and it's always Edrin who's leading the discussions, and you just constantly hear him giving the same pitch about a Krunk, dangerous, need to study it, a Krunk, and it just echoes in your mind as you get these little flashes of consciousness. Eventually, there's a day that is different. You have a High Sun Mage Oyamba show up, who says that you need to get Karunok's account because it seems like he can vocalize, and he needs to talk to the council, and he needs to give his side of what happened. And so they say that they can restrain him for safety, but that Karunok needs a chance to speak. And you have just been so heavily sedated, poisoned, drugged, to the point where the next set of days are kind of a haze. You remember getting a grip on yourself. You remember Zalara, your professor who was going to recommend you for lore speaker, is kind of trying to get you to focus up and help you with your case, and she tries to work with you through your story. you just have a really hard time keeping track of anything. Your memories start to fleet and fade, and it's all kind of a haze. But you do remember that is the day that the meeting with the council comes up, and you are in the chamber awaiting your presentation. Zalara is with you. You remember that you kind of get enough, and you're feeling ready to speak. You're feeling ready to talk about what happened. You have memories of what Edrin did. You have that moment of consciousness. Zalara is there holding your hands. And you feel like you just kind of come into consciousness. Her hands kind of ground you. Somebody else holding your hands. She calls you Karunok, and it feels strange to you. Karunok, are you ready?
He doesn't speak, and instead he just slowly nods his head.
She touches your face. Karunok, are you with me?
Think so.
I know he's not treating you right. You must defend yourself here. Okay? The truth must be known. Tell them everything. Do not be afraid.
I want to kill him.
No. We stay away from violence on this, and we just speak the truth of what happened. You can do this.
I'll tell them.
As you are kind of talking with her and everything's a haze, there's some people that are walking by into the chamber, and you subtly feel the familiar feeling of a needle stabbing into your neck.
Ow!
As that happens, something kind of primal awakens in you, and the phrase of Zalara saying "defend yourself" just echoes in your head, and it triggers something violent in you.
You feel Quillen's magic start to surge in your eye, and mixed into her paint was all the blood of your friends too, because she was grabbing everyone's blood as she was running out. So I think it starts to surge, and you start hearing the screams of your friends echo in your mind as you unlock this primal rage.
You see a smug smile of some stranger that you've never met, but they look you right in the eyes, and you can see them pocketing this syringe. They say, "Good luck in there, Krunk."
Krunk reaches out and grabs him with his small hand on the shoulder, and then grabs his face with the big hand and tries to wrench his head off of his body.
Yeah, the last thing you remember is a sickening crunch and Zalara gasping, and you see flashes of magic, and you hear panicked voices, and then everything goes red and then dark again.
Everything that Krunk tried to do as he gave in to this new name was to get in the other room and reach Edrin.
The next thing you remember is you do remember seeing Edrin just out of reach. You remember seeing the council, and you remember bindings tightly holding you. You remember trying to get to Edrin, and it just kind of came out like a primal beast trying to kill somebody. And you remember Edrin speaking to the council. That's exactly what I was saying. He needs to be restrained. Maybe even needs to be put down. He's clearly too dangerous. I can't believe you even questioned that this would have anything to do with me. I am sad for what happened to Karunok, but this is no longer him. And you remember the trial going by in kind of a haze. Edrin just always being right out of reach. And you remember being locked up in a cell. And you remember Edrin having absolutely no consequences. Suddenly, one day, you have no idea how long it's been, but suddenly that haze that has been over you just completely vanishes. And you are in a cell of cold, dark stone, and you see Zalara gasping in front of you, dropping to her knees as if she looks absolutely exhausted. You don't remember her entering the cell, but she's there with you now.
Zalara, are you okay?
Oh, Karunok, thank goodness. Are you okay?
Where am I?
You're in the Magambia dungeons. There's discussing what to do with you. I know that is not you. I know he's doing something to you. I saw the syringe. I think I've purified whatever they've been dosing you with.
It keeps clouding my mind. I can't. When it happens, I'm not me anymore. You have to believe me, Zalara. I should have been able to defend myself. He's doing this. Edrin needs to be punished.
She grabs your hand. Karunok, I believe you. I understand. I have been there for his presentations. He's a foul man and he is lying. I know it. But unfortunately, your trial did not go so well.
What did he do this time?
They're still up in debate on if they're going to keep you for study or if they're going to try you for murder or if they're just going to slay you like a beast. And it's not looking so good, Karunok. I'm here to let you escape.
Maybe I could talk to them. Maybe I could explain it now that you freed my mind.
She looks so absolutely sad. Maybe you can, Karunok, but I don't know. He has them all so convinced. Perhaps today you leave, and another day we talk to them. Once this has had time to wear off. You've already been banished from the Magambia.
I was gonna be a lore keeper. We all were, and then he abandoned us. And what am I? Where am I supposed to go like this?
You are the same man that you have always been.
No, I'm not.
Our physical shell does not define us, Karunok. You still have a wealth of knowledge. You still have a kind heart.
I don't know.
And that heart and that mind are going to do great things still. I still see the potential in you, even if the rest of them are blinded by it. And that's why I'm setting you free. Your life does not end here. That is a waste and I will not have it.
My life could end here, if that means ending Edrin as well.
Do not let your heart become corrupt with vengeance. I've known many men who have gone down that path, and it never ends well.
But Hesso...
I have taught you better than that.
They deserve better than this.
Yes, they did. And so do you. And we are running low on time. So you need to leave now.
He's quiet for a moment. But he's pretty sure that Quillen would say that he should go. He's pretty sure Hesso wouldn't want him to die. He's not 100% sure, but he hopes.
She hands you a pack of supplies with a weapon and some very strangely fitted armor. I think you should try to slip out quietly, but just in case, you should be able to defend yourself. And you should be able to defend yourself looking like the honorable tiefling that you are and not like a beast. So you're going to carry a proper weapon and wear proper armor. Because you are not Krunk. You're not a Krunk. You're Karunok. Understood?
I can't thank you enough.
It is the very least that I could do. And it is not enough, but it is something.
Where should I go?
We'll start a new life. If we get the chance to start over from such tragedy, we should.
He's gonna awkwardly pull her into a hug, trying very carefully to keep her away from his jagged side. And then he'll stand up. And he'll leave.
Stay far from the Magambia. I hope to see you another day, Karunok.
Thank Solara, for the chance.
She nods. And she's gonna cast an invisibility sphere on you. And then she's going to walk out of the dungeon talking casually. Oh, I just wanted to see for myself what had come with this Krunk. And you hear somebody talking with her on the other side, and she seems like she's leading them away from the door, giving you a clear exit.
Krunk will slip out of the cell, tailing behind them at a safe space until he's outside, underneath the sun, for who knows how long. Then he'll leave the Magambia behind, his home. He doesn't even visit the dorm where his cohort stayed. Doesn't have a chance to say goodbye to their places. Instead, he skulks out like a rat.
And as these memories fade away, 15 years later, standing before you once again is Teacher Zalara, as these memories all get stirred up by the name Karunok. And that's where we'll end the session for tonight.
Shit, dude.
Jeez Louise.